Hey, good afternoon, folks. This is Rob Burke here with WuVille.Boston, and we're continuing our story from last night on the cost of the buses of the city of Boston. And with me is my co-host, Catherine Vitale. Hello, Catherine.
Hi, Rob. How you doing?
So we started today out with a mission. We went over to the Boston Public School building over at 2300?
The bowling building?
The bowling building.
Bowling
Eric
building.
Bowling Building. I think it's Eric. It's not Eric.
William?
It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
It's the bowling. And we went over to there, 2300 Washington Street today.
Yeah.
And we learned an awful lot about just trying to get some basic information. It was almost impossible.
Yes. So, I mean, I don't think that we learned anything necessarily surprising since we've been into our fair share of government buildings.
Drive carefully, by the way.
Looking for information over the past couple years, and we haven't been able to locate employees, government employees that can give us any information. So we were just looking for a conversation today, trying to get some data on how much is spent on school buses, how many kids ride school buses, how many kids are enrolled, how many kids have been unenrolled. Simple data that I feel like should be readily available to the people in this building, especially since they have a data department. And I know that people might want to say you can find this data online, but I just feel more comfortable going there and getting it from the people myself.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I was looking for is, from my point of view, going back to 1974 to 78, how many actual students were the city of Boston? How many buses were there, and what was the budget for that particular time? I know, going back in time, obviously things have changed money-wise, but now we're into 2023, and if I looked at it, just generally looking at it, okay, back in 1974, there was approximately 59,000 students. Then there was the white flight that lost 20,000, and now we see they're at 20,000. The buses, we have 700 and change, whatever that is, or 650. And what is the cost? But the most important thing is busing. It was a failure. The whole thing is about education.
Yeah, so we talked about this last night about the Boston busing crisis that took place between 1974 and 1988, which a Boston judge mandated that
Arthur Garrity
students be bused into different neighborhoods to force integration in the schools. And we all know how well it goes over when the government tries to force things on people. So it didn't go well at all. There was a lot of protesting and violence. I think there was a lot of kids dropping out of school, refusing to go, because it ruined everybody's perspective of our public school system. I know that both of my parents dropped out of school.
Hey, listen, the Boston City, Boston Public Schools is the oldest public school system in the country. All I was trying to find out was how much federal money, since Arthur Garrity was doing a federal type of application for the Boston Public Schools. And I was looking at, since I have to talk about top down with federal stuff. And my inquiry was basically, okay, here's what we were, this is what we spent, and here's how we, what's budgeted today. I'd like to know how much federal money is going into a system that it doesn't work. Can anybody prove to me that these kids are any smarter than they were back in 20 or 30 years ago, 40 years ago?
Right. And I mean, I think that we see that a lot with government, especially local government in Boston. We see them try things out, and it either works or it doesn't. And even when it doesn't work, they adopt these new policies and procedures because they already have an agenda way before they even implement the actual changes. They have an agenda. And I think that anything they have a pilot program for is other words for just like, we're going to get you used to this before we implement it.
It's always,
as a permanent thing.
There's so many of those examples. But for me personally, I went to, like I said last night, Milton Public Schools, 1974. There was, we had Metco for the first time. So they were being taken out of Boston and put into Milton. Milton was being charged for that busing. We had busing, basically. Didn't even realize. All I care about is Yeah.
It's this crazy thing where the government says, minorities, black and brown kids are underserved. Let us help you. And this is what they do with these programs where they're busing, you know back in 1974, where they were busing kids to go to white schools. I think the better question is, why do we not have the same level of education in all schools, period?
How about some results? That's why you go to
Yeah,
school, not to be on a bus.
why not get better teachers? Like, I don't understand this whole premise of busing students to different school districts so that they get a better education. How about just having higher standards for the teachers and the curriculums?
How about get results? And again, we talk about this. I mean, I don't know too much about the Boston Public Schools, but man, after today's meeting in the open public area, all sorts of things, it just gives you a bad feeling. But like I said, I'd like to know how much federal money is being spent in this. But the more important is, I'm going back to this, what kind of results are we getting? It's like this. We went to school, 5 rows, 8 kids in a row. You had to compete. Teachers are pretty good. They did a good job, and they got results, I don't know if they can get any results. They're getting rid of tests. They're getting rid of all this stuff here. As you go, Catherine, going through this with the testing in school. What kind of schools are they you have to apply to in the Boston Public?
The exam schools?
Exam schools. I want to know about the results. The amount of money we're spending, federally, that is. Catherine has a bottom-up approach. I have to come top-down. But I want to know, and we're going to be digging now.
And I want to know how many students are even enrolled. And I want to know how many students stopped going over the past 3 years, because I think that a lot of people chose to switch to private schools or homeschool. And I mean, I am a huge advocate for homeschooling. I think that everybody should consider it. It's the best option for any family, in my opinion. The government schools are just indoctrination centers.
We're doing this show quickly this afternoon, just to cut in briefly. 617-910-915-4009 on the social, because we're going to come back tonight at about, is it 9 o'clock or so, just for a quick recap. So we just want to report on what we saw today. We're obviously over in Dorchester, where a lot of these buses are. How many are there? If Michelle Wu's replaced all these buses, I mean, with her electric bus, as the bus goes around, it's amazing. So again, folks, if you went to Boston Public Schools, you know what that's all about. We're just learning that it's like Fort Knox over there to try to get information. Yeah, I'm sure there's a process, but come on.
It was absolutely ridiculous at the bowling building. That I don't understand. So I understand at this point how you go into a government building and they have security and this high level of protection for public officials. But what I don't understand is why everybody just lets it be and doesn't question it. And you have these like airhead security guards and people at the front desk that like with their disposable masks on, and that don't ask any questions. They just do what they're told. And I said to them, if I worked in a place like this, I would be concerned with why these public officials have such a high level of protection. You can't go past the second floor in the building that controls the Boston Public Schools. What kind of insanity is that? You can't go to the floor where the data department is. You can't go to the floor where the superintendent's office is. Why are these people protected like they're royalty? What are they scared of?
Just on the busing alone, there's probably about 15 or 20 hours that a student has to go in to get ready, get on the bus, sit on the bus, get off the bus, get back on the bus, and drive home. You could be using that time for education.
Or sleep.
Not sitting in a bus. A bus. This is all chaotic.
Let your kid wake up naturally when they feel like waking up, rather than forcing them to get up and ruining their mood and their feelings. And it's let kids sleep.
So if you had a different approach, local schools, local neighborhoods, you'd reduce the cost, you'd have less stress, the kid would be in the neighborhood, possibly he could learn more as long as we know what they're teaching these people. What are they teaching them? How to get on a
Nothing.
bus?
They're teaching them absolutely nothing. And I mean, look at all these buses. Like this, I don't even know how big this lot is, but we're at the lot that holds all the school buses.
Well, we have someone coming over and say hello. Hello, sir. What's that? Who are you, by the way?
My name's Patrick. I work here. Is there something I can help you guys with?
No,
No.
Patrick. No, everything's cool.
Okay, can I just ask who you're with?
No, you don't have to know. We don't answer questions because it doesn't matter who we're with, Patrick. Seriously. We're on a public Patrick, I won't even put you on camera, but we're on a public street.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, and I wasn't disputing that.
Yeah, and I know, but we don't. I don't. There's no reason to answer any of those questions. But again, I didn't put you in the video, so you're not in it. Because then you can say, "Stop shooting me." And I said, "Well, you just walked into my video." So if you want to, again, we have limited time here. We're just regular people talking about busing. And how many? Well, you can answer this question. I know there's one in Hyde Park. How many of these type of areas do you have in the city? 5.
Actually, all that kind of stuff doesn't go through the
See, okay, so you okay? Yeah.
So, sorry, I can't answer that.
You don't have to. Who would we contact, by the way, on that?
Your best bet is to reach out to the VPS, Department of Transportation.
Up at 2300 Washington.
Office full of people who have no.
We were just over
information.
there.
We were just there.
Oh,
We were just over there.
Tons of people
We'll give you
seem
the-
to be working there, but
We'll give you the voice change, okay? So we're already over there, okay? That's fine. We'll
Do you-
figure. Are these all electric?
No.
Okay, these are diesel.
You know, honestly,
Okay, I'm just asking. It's okay,
do
buddy.
you know how many?
again, any questions need to go through the VPS.
And who's the big kahuna up there?
So, Dan Rosengard is the director of transportation.
Sure.
So, him and somebody from his team will probably.
Fantastic. We'll be happy to reach out to those folks.
Hey, I'll leave you guys to it. I hope you have a great afternoon.
We're just
And, hopefully you stay well.
we're just talking about
Thank you.
actually education.
Oh, okay, great. Well, I mean, hey, I'm excited for a new school year. So.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming over, but this is what happens all the time, and I don't mean to be abrupt with you, but it's really none of your business. But I don't want to say that to you. But I'd rather be direct, and it's a lot easier that way. That way you can cover yourself. And I'll turn as you're walking, I'll turn the camera so they don't see you walking, because someone will say something. You know how they are. So-
I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Thanks for
You
coming
too,
by.
thank you.
You take care of yourself, sir. I just want to get him out of the picture. He was just a guy. But this happens all the time when they walk into the video. They said, "What are you doing?" None of your business. Now this
No, he didn't say what his role is. He just came up.
wanted to
and
be in the
said,
video.
Can I ask what you guys are doing? Who are you with?
And I said, "No, we don't have to answer questions."
Obviously, much like many other employees that we encountered today. I assume he's a city employee. Maybe
Yeah.
he's a vendor employee. Who knows? But much like everybody else, doesn't have any information. Nobody does. Nobody knows a thing. They just show up, do what they're told. Don't ask questions.
We have a code word for the people that just walk into the video. We call them intruders. They're intruders, and then they wonder why. We're on video. I wish you wouldn't videotape it. So I wish you wouldn't stepped into our little show here. But again, nice guy. Okay, bud. We're just doing a little follow-up. But I want to go back to my main point. Number one, we obviously working on this thing, and I think the best format that we have is we keep on digging. The fact is we now have a little avenue to go after information, and we'll get it. We'll FOIA it all out. When the security guard was called down and started asking us questions and calling certain names, and
to the public safety officer.
Yeah.
Because they've eliminated police.
Yeah.
In the school buildings. So we go into the bowling
well, let
building.
me ask you about that. Do you believe in having police sometimes in school buildings?
No.
Okay.
I believe that the teachers should be allowed to call them if there's an emergency,
Yeah.
but I don't think that they should be there. I don't.
Do you think teachers should arm
I
themselves?
think teachers should be armed.
Yes. Okay. There we go. So
I think everybody should be armed.
Okay, armed. Okay, because we talked about it. An armed society is a polite society.
Right.
So if you and again talking about firearms, you have to realize that with firearm training, anybody that carries a weapon that knows this, it's all about safety.
Mhm.
And if you can retreat,
I think that we should have firearm safety in public schools.
sure.
Why wouldn't we? I think that we should be teaching the First Amendment, how important it is and how to express it. And then the Second Amendment and gun safety and how you can't have a First Amendment without a Second Amendment.
Because the gentleman, a couple of them all brought up the point. Well, we got to be like this because we have people attacking the Boston school.
Yeah, he said that the bowling building has to have this level of security because you never know who's going to walk in the building and angry people or whatever.
Brought up a shooting last year.
Yeah, I'm like, what shouldn't that raise some concern that there's people in this building that members of the public are so angry with that you feel like they might come in and do something crazy? What does that say about the people you're protecting?
I've never been an elected official like that, but seriously, I'm sure they get a lot of inquiries. And I think, because we spoke to a lady, I won't mention her name, only if it comes up again. But again, this lady was like, who are you and what do you want? And 50 questions. And I'm going like, ma'am, this is who I am. I identify myself. This is why I'm here. And then she was acting like doing me a favor. I'll see if I can get someone to come down and see you. And she didn't send anybody down.
No.
Then we had 2 intruders come into our lives. We had 2 more intruders. It's just like, come on, folks, stop worrying about it. Just lay it out there. But anyways.
So the public safety officer came down and told us that he was dispatched there. We found out later that he wasn't. I assumed that he was already in the building.
Yeah.
And he was dispatched from like whatever other room that he was in. But no, he wasn't at the building. He came down there in an official public safety vehicle.
Someone sent him in a car.
So somebody literally called this person to come down, notifying him that like they need some other layer of protection because they said there's protesters in the lobby.
Well, there's that inflammatory language.
We're like, protesters? Who's protesting?
We didn't raise our voice.
Said anything about
raise our voice.
Nobody said anything about a protest. I don't understand like what visual inclination you would have to think that we were there protesting, other than the fact that you actually know our identities because our pictures are probably posted somewhere in that building.
We're on the list.
I've never been in that building.
No, I've delivered food there once.
I've never protested there, so I don't know. Why they feel like it's okay to just assume that we're there to protest, even if they know who we are. So what?
So school starts. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But he also mentioned that when we started questioning him about who said protest, who used that word, why did they call you, what did they say, and then he realized he said too much, wanted to backtrack himself and say, oh, you know what, I probably just added that word in there myself, that's probably my fault.
No way.
Wouldn't tell us who dispatched him.
No way.
And or what the words they used were. And he said something about the superintendent and the mayor. And I'm like, what are you talking about, guys? Nobody said anything about the mayor at all. And we were told that we needed to speak to the superintendent's office. We didn't ask for the superintendent. We asked who we can speak to get this data that we're looking for. And we were told probably the superintendent's office.
Mayor Wudo's name never came up.
They have a whole, nobody mentioned the mayor at all, but the security.
Once again, the jump into conclusions, rush into judgment.
Assume that we were looking for the mayor. I mean, contrary to what people believe, I don't spend my days out looking for the mayor. I mean, when I confront her because I know where she's going to be at a time and I go to confront her. I'm not out here just like roaming around government buildings looking for the mayor.
Okay. So it's, we've been at this a little bit of time. We're going to button this up because we're going to be on the show tonight at about what time? 9:30?
Yeah.
So today's exercise was to go over to the Boston Public Schools main building over in, I call it Dudley, but it has a new name. So what's the name called now? Nubian Square?
Dudley Square?
Yeah, well, Dudley, Nubian.
I refuse to call it Nubian Square.
Okay, Dudley Square.
That is ridiculous.
And we waited in the lobby
there was a vote on the ballot to change the name.
Yeah.
And the people voted like 68% against changing the name.
Yeah. So they did it anyway. So it just tells you that they don't. And again, the bottom line is anything that government touches, they ruin it. And it's always about the people at the bottom. It's all bottom up stuff that's going to get results. So we went over there. We were stonewalled in the lobby. There's the bus sticker. And we decided to come over here in Dorchester and take a look at the bus locations here. And we just passed this out. We're gonna be on tonight. We're gonna give us a couple hours to dig for some more information, and obviously, their name of the game with these people is to run out the clock, get in your way, set up all this nonsense, and then when you finally get it. By the way, I had dropped by today. I went over to City Hall, talking about the voter rolls. That was an interesting conversation. And then I also went and checked in with my friend Sean Williams, who's in charge of my FOIA request.
The voter rolls that are available to the public in City Hall that haven't been updated since 2018.
No, I have a clarification on that. They're all the other ones are online. Those are just sort of like catalogs from Sears
But
Roebuck.
not online for the public to view.
I have to review
No.
the video that I shot to clarification, but again, I was there looking for Sean Williams today regarding my 4-year for going back to the list. So the whole process here is understanding all the steps. We're going to teach everybody the dance steps, okay? Because everybody needs to take out their number 2 pencil and start forwarding all this information. Just the fact that these people don't want to tell you anything. And then it's always they're going to change the story, make up a new one, move the goalpost. You can only talk to us at midnight at 3 a.m. or only on Tuesdays every 7 years. It's nonsense. If they just open, transparent, we'd go away. Now the fact that there's people stiffed us in the lobby today, I said to them, "We're coming back now. Now you force us to come back."
How many employees do you think that the city has, Rob?
Who
like
knows?
the city of Boston.
How many?
Not like the contracted companies and vendors and all that. The city of Boston employs over 22,000 people.
The Boston Public Schools employs about 5,000.
Okay. But I would love to see an audit
We like
on
audits.
every single city of Boston employee. What are you doing?
What do you do?
What are we paying over 22,000 people to do? And the median income, the average income is 78,000.
Listen, we need people doing jobs. I'm not against those, but government jobs, no way. There are just too many of them doing absolutely nothing. They're just walking around, and when you ask them, they can't answer a question. This guy right here, the bus guy, he did the exact same
Well,
thing.
we don't know who he works for though.
Yeah, but
because if he's a bus driver,
I don't
they
think
don't work for the city.
No, he's probably in one of these.
The bus drivers they work for the vendor.
Yeah. So now, we have some police now.
And who decides on these vendors? Who decides that the bowling building gets to pay for a property management company to contract a property management company?
It's that
Aw,
public-private
it
partnership.
hurts my heart.
They're really
Like every time we look into one
How
issue,
much?
we find 23 other
Catherine,
issues.
you should be the girl running for office. Excuse me, the woman running for office says, "Listen, give me a budget, okay, and if I can get results, we'll take that money back. That's all. We'll just take it back."
Yeah, we could eliminate taxes or something.
How many?
Like
The budget
the
in Boston.
amount of money
The
that
budget
we're
in
spending on nothing.
the budget in Boston is over $1 billion. You have 600,000 residents.
The budget for what?
Boston, isn't there a budget? Their city budget about $1 billion or something like that.
What are that?
I don't know what it is, but it's over. But think how much money you could give people if all these people get out of the way.
I know. All those people who want universal basic income. Hello? Why are we throwing money away? How is the city employing 20? That blows my mind.
Yeah.
And we're just okay with that because we're not taught what the government was meant to do. The government's not meant to be a fucking employer.
Oh, there's the
The
F
government
word.
is not meant
Beep,
to
beep,
own all of these
beep.
buildings and land grabs. The government is not here for that. That's not what the government's supposed to be.
They all they do is they get in your way, they ruin your life, they make it expensive, they spy on you. And I'm sorry to tell you this, folks. We need to do an audit, okay?
And you're a slave. You're a slave if you work for the government. There's contracts. You can't talk to anybody. You have to watch what you say. You literally are a slave to the government.
So, all right. We're going to button up here. It's 24 minutes in. This is what we're going to do for the 8 people watching us. We're glad that you joined us. Tell your friends that we're going to be gone tonight. Just gives us another hour. If we have an hour of research, we can come up with all sorts of stuff. So if you have any research, we want to know, hey, money, how much money is allocated? Where's the money going? What kind of results you getting? That's all.
Some of the buses have a green bird.
Oh,
and
yeah.
some of the buses have a black bird.
Oh, my God.
I
did-
wonder if the green one means that they're
Yes.
electric.
It is. There it is. The main battery can disconnect right there.
Is that? Oh,
Yeah, that's it. The green.
okay. So these are all electric right here.
These are all electric.
They're all electric.
That's why he didn't know. What do you mean he didn't
That
know?
one over there is not.
Oh, they must have segregated the other ones across the other fence. You can see the wind thing there, the 103 that's killing all the birds. That's amazing. That
So
we-
there's a little green bird
that's
on
right.
the side, and I think that it says eco something on the back.
But it says main battery disconnect. Now that battery goes for 50 G's, guys. Okay, and I know from doing sports, batteries last a certain amount of time in weather. How many hours it take to charge them? What's that cost? I like these green people. They need electricity to do their little stupid stuff. They probably don't. These things, and they're all made in China, by the way. It's all made in China. So once again, if it's not your vitamin C, it's your buses. It's just terrible.
What happens when there's like an electrical fire or something?
You can't put it out. It'll burn. It'll burn right through the
What is
floor.
that tower?
Oh, that's just I don't know, communications
Is that
tower.
5G?
I have no idea. I
What
don't.
are all
listen.
those things?
Okay, folks, we've learned a new thing. We should take a picture of that before we go. We'll post that tonight. We didn't know that. There's the green on the bus. On the bus up top is a
Wait,
green.
can we see this on the camera? No,
I don't think so because this doesn't
not
have the zoom.
really.
But if I turn this camera right here,
Yeah, there you go. So
and if you can
put your
look
finger up there. Yep, there, the little green bird.
right there, there's the green bird. Right down there, under the stop sign, is your main battery disconnect. On the back, on the back side, you have a liquefied petroleum gas. So what's this, a hybrid? You have petroleum
I guess
gas.
so.
What kind of gas? Natural
Hold on,
gas?
I want to go over there and look at the back.
Okay, I'll keep you going here. Okay, Catherine Vitale's on top of this one. She's walking over. This is unbelievable. So if you're at home, folks, we learned something today. Losing a few people. Hey, again, listen, 617-915-4009. Send me a voicemail. On the email, it's info@wokenwuville.boston. I get a couple emails today. I just forward them over to Catherine. And the more this gets out to people, please, come on. Get with it, folks. You can't sit in the sidelines. Okay. Catherine, you get an eyeball that? Okay, we gotta button this up here.
No, there was nothing on the back of the bus, but driving over here, I saw eco something on a school bus. I'll have to look for that again. And I just dodged a needle on the ground over there.
So there's the picture right here. We're trying to get you in the picture. You see the picture?
Yeah.
You gotta go this way. There you go. Okay, so there you go. See that we want to accentuate the buses today. The buses. Lots of now we see. This is funny. This is going to be like pulling the thread of the baseball or something. And now we're gonna
Is that our friend?
No, now we're gonna start digging into all these things. Now, what did that paint cost? How much? What kind of paint's that? Everything. Remember now, everything you look at,
I know.
they love the symbols. The commies love the symbols. Oh my God!
It's a green bird.
It's a green bird for green wings, wings above the wings above. Fly like an eagle. Fly like an eagle. Okay, that's it, folks. This is Rob Burke signing out from WokenWuVille.Boston on the mean streets of Dorchester, over by Savvy by the Sea. And we'll see you tonight. So,
Catherine Vitale, candidate for Boston City Council at large. Thank you for watching. If you want to follow the show, go to WokenWuVille.Boston. You can call us. You can send us a message from the website. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, Truth Social. And if you want to follow my campaign, you can go to vitaleforboston.com. Thanks for watching.
Signing off. See you tonight. What? Can move.